"I thought," said Henry, who had now stopped identifying as a cat. He later told everyone that he only did it because he thought it would be amusing. "I thought," said Henry, "that there's a cost of living crisis." "There is," replied James. "My driver is always talking about it. He says that every time he goes to the shop the prices have gone up. His gas and electricity charges have gone up, and his mortgage has gone through the roof." Edward explained. "It's called inflation," he said. "Mr. Rishi is going to take action to bring it down." Thomas knew about inflation. He, Annie and Clarabel had run a special train for a children's birthday party. He had watched the parents inflating lots of pretty party balloons. Some of them had burst. "Surely," he said, "if he wants to get inflation down, all it takes is a little prick." "He has one of those," said Percy cheekily. "He's called Jeremy Hunt." The engines laughed. Certainly the passengers were talking about the cost of living. Most were saying that they were having to cut back on things. Some even said that they were having to skip meals in order to make ends meet. "The strange thing is," Henry continued, "it doesn't seem to affect everyone." Henry had spent the last week pulling the gravy train. The gravy train, you will remember, was the most luxurious train on the railway. It was usually reserved for the controller and his friends, and it ran from Eton via Oxford and then on to Westminster. But it was also used for very special occasions. Last week it was taking people to a place called Ascot. Henry had noticed that the passengers on the gravy train didn't seem to have to cut back on anything. In fact, they had the best of everything. The carriage cleaners had told Henry's driver that they'd never seen so many empty champagne bottles. "I'm surprised you got to pull the gravy train," said James. "Mr. Rishi usually gives that job to Sir Keith." Sir Keith was supposed to be a red engine, though everyone knew that his true colour was blue. The people who owned the railway had given him a quick and fairly tatty makeover. "Why is it," asked Thomas, "that the passengers on the gravy train have so much money when everyone else has nothing and is struggling?" Edward explained. "Greed," he said. "Unmitigated greed."